Not gonna go tell a friend or a family member to grieve their divorce or whatever grief they're going through in the same way that I grieved it, and I'm not going to tell them to heal the way that I healed or am healing, because we're two different people. We do things different. I know what's in my heart. I know what my value system is. I know the things that I need to process my grief and to move forward into healing.
Today we're talking about Christine Brown-Woolley, who's getting a lot of attention because her new book is set to come out in September, just 1 month away. As the release gets closer, people have started talking more about her past, especially her difficult relationship with Meri Brown. Meri and Christine haven't had an easy history. Their bond has always been tense. Meri was the first wife in the Brown family, which gave her a kind of leadership role. She parented differently than Christine, and Christine has said Meri often treated her poorly, sometimes teasing or mocking her, and just not being kind. Imagine being in Meri's shoes, though. She was the first wife, and then had to watch her husband bring in other women and have kids with them. That situation probably made her feel powerless and even resentful, especially toward the other women in the family. Still, the family claimed their lifestyle was based on faith and love, even though their actions didn't always reflect that. Christine has since distanced herself from Meri completely. One big reason is the way she believes Meri treated her kids. Christine once said that Meri was aggressive towards some of her children and made comments that Christine found deeply upsetting. She made it clear that she no longer trusted Meri and didn't want her around her children anymore. That created a deep wedge between them, one that never really healed. In their earlier book, Becoming Sister Wives, Christine hinted at these problems. She shared that rebuilding any kind of trust with Meri was nearly impossible. Over time, some of the Brown children also opened up. Maddie has called Meri abusive. Mykelti won't even talk to her. Paedon has been the most outspoken, saying Meri's behavior went far beyond just harsh words. He even said that if everything that happened had been shown on TV, the show might have been cancelled. While Paedon was known to be a tough and energetic kid, it seems he took the brunt of Meri's strictness. Still, it raises serious questions about how things really were behind the scenes. What's interesting and troubling is that Meri has never spoken about these claims. Instead, she's avoided them completely. She now focuses on something she calls Worthy Up, where she promotes healing, self-worth, and staying out of others' personal choices. She often says things like, "I'm not here to tell anyone how to live or grieve," which feels like a way to change the topic without taking responsibility. In polygamous families, it's not uncommon for people who are hurt to end up hurting others. Meri may have been struggling too, but ignoring the hurt others say she caused doesn't make it go away. As Christine steps forward with her story, these old wounds are being looked at again, not for revenge, but for understanding what really happened in that complex, painful family dynamic. She has built a whole community called Worthy Up, where she talks about how people can feel valuable and live better lives. It's kind of her way of becoming a self-help figure. She seems to be following the ideas of Mel Robbins, taking inspiration from her books and talks. She's trying to build a name for herself in the world of personal growth and motivation. But even though she says she doesn't want to tell others how to deal with pain or grief, that's exactly what she does on her platform. So it seems a bit contradictory. Recently, she posted a few videos where she actually spoke about how she acted in the past, especially how she treated the kids in the family. In those videos, she reflected on her behavior and admitted she was a very strict parent. She talked about learning more about herself through therapy and understanding why she developed certain traits. She said that looking into her childhood helped her stop feeling ashamed, not because the actions were okay, but because knowing the reasons gave her a way to understand her mistakes. That part caught my attention because, as someone who has spent years researching this religious group and this family, it's frustrating to hear someone speak about their pain but ignore the pain they caused others. In these types of communities, people are raised to protect the group's image. They're taught to always make the lifestyle, like polygamy, look good to outsiders. So when something bad happens, it's often covered up, dismissed, or spun in a positive way. There's pressure to pretend that everything is okay, even when it's not. Meri seems to be trying very hard to show the world that she's kind, loving, and supportive. That might be true with some people in her life, but others, especially some of the kids, have said that's not how they remember her. Of course, people can grow and improve. That's important. But if Meri is serious about healing and becoming better, her therapist should also be helping her take responsibility for the pain she caused. It's one thing to understand where bad behavior comes from, like if she was abused by her parents or hurt in her marriage, but that doesn't excuse hurting others. Saying she understands why she acted the way she did doesn't change the impact her actions had on those children. It almost feels like she's using that understanding as a shield so she doesn't have to fully admit what she did. Some abusive parents pretend it never happened, or they tell their kids they had it worse growing up, or they act like it wasn't that serious. But at the end of the day, abuse is a choice. No matter what someone went through before, they still choose how they treat others, especially children. And in today's world, there's no excuse for choosing to hurt someone just because you were once hurt too. When someone chooses to hurt another person, whether by yelling, hitting, or being cruel, that's still a choice. Even if they had a tough childhood, that doesn't give them the right to pass that pain on to someone else. Whatever happened to them when they were young shouldn't be used as an excuse for how they treat their own children. Every person is responsible for their own actions, no matter what they've been through. Right now, it feels like Meri might be feeling uneasy about what Christine will reveal in her upcoming book. Lately, Meri has been posting a lot of things online, making it sound like she doesn't want to control anyone's healing journey. She keeps saying she doesn't want to tell others how to handle grief or how to move on. For example, she said she would never tell a friend or family member to cope with a divorce the same way she did. She says healing is different for everyone and that people need to do what's right for them, just as she has to do what's right for herself. But here's the thing, Meri has spent more than a year using her Worthy Up platform to give people advice on how to be stronger, more confident, and more worthy. She's given out tips, motivation, and life lessons. She wants to be a speaker, a coach, someone who inspires others. So when she says she doesn't want to tell others what to do, it feels a bit off. If she truly didn't want to tell people how to live, then Worthy Up wouldn't exist. You can't say one thing and do another. Now, I'm just someone watching from the outside. I'm not a therapist or a life coach. But in my opinion, neither Christine nor Meri have everything figured out. They both use their platforms in different ways, but at the end of the day, they're doing something similar, sharing their journey and offering advice. Christine tries to encourage people and share her truth. Meri tries to teach people how to heal and feel worthy. And in doing so, they seem to be competing for attention even now. What stands out to me is that Meri came from a very controlled background, a system where everything was decided for her. What she wore, who she married, what she believed, it was all planned out. Now that she's left that kind of life, it's easy to fall into another structure, like the self-help world, where she's still following rules, still trying to be the expert. But maybe, just maybe, it's okay to say, I don't know what I'm doing either. Personally, I wouldn't feel right giving people life advice. My own life is far from perfect. That's why I always say, if you're struggling, go to therapy. Talk to a professional. That's what helped me the most. So when Meri makes comments about not telling people what to do, I think it's partly a reaction to Christine's growing voice, and maybe it's also fear. Because when that book comes out, the truth may be hard to avoid. Christine's kids have already said they don't want anything to do with Meri, and that speaks volumes. Christine has openly shared on the show that her daughter, Mykelti, wants nothing to do with Meri. She has made it clear that Meri won't be invited to any event related to Mykelti or her kids. Their relationship is completely broken, and there's no attempt to fix it. This has been stated very clearly on television. But even with that, no one has really talked in detail about what happened between Mykelti and Meri. There's been a lot of avoiding, skipping over, or being vague about the situation. It's unclear whether Christine will talk about this in her upcoming book or if she'll leave it alone because it's Mykelti's personal story to share. No one really knows yet. But in my opinion, it's always best to be truthful. Being open and real about what happened, without trying to make yourself look better or hiding behind vague words, is more powerful than pretending things didn't happen. If something wrong occurred, the best thing to do is to say it clearly, not dance around it. Instead of Meri making little side comments that seem aimed at Christine, maybe she should focus on admitting what really happened. That's how healing starts, through honesty. It takes courage to say, yes, I made mistakes, but it's necessary. Calling past behavior strict parenting doesn't change what the children experienced. Everyone in that family, every adult, made choices. They each chose how they treated the kids. And no matter what the system was like, those decisions were still theirs. The truth is, no parent is perfect. Every parent fails in some way. But the real goal should be to try to break harmful patterns, not repeat them. Children don't deserve to carry their parents' pain. They deserve better. If someone has caused harm, the best thing they can do is admit it, not hide behind their own trauma or past. Saying I was hurt too doesn't undo the damage. The question is, what exactly did you do? Don't just say something happened, explain it. Be honest, even if it's hard. That's the only way to start real change. If Meri could stop avoiding these questions and stop making vague statements about healing, she might find that people are more open to listening. Maybe even the people who are hurt might eventually be open to hearing her out. But continuing to avoid the truth, continuing to act like nothing happened, or blaming the past, that's not going to help anything. She could benefit from someone guiding her, maybe a PR person, to help her say things in a way that shows responsibility instead of defense. At the end of the day, I care most about the kids in this family. They should have the chance to speak, if they want to. And if they choose to stay silent, that should be respected too. But if a parent is being called out for something serious, they should own up to it, not ignore it. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss any updates. Thanks for watching, besties.